this is one thing that was a talking point this week. So we talked in our regular video, not in a podcast episode, about Marina Ovsyannikova, the poster girl that appeared on Russian television. So there were a couple of controversial things happening in Ukraine, specifically around this woman. First, I don't know how. Maybe it's lowest level corruption. Maybe the people just plain don't know who she is. I think it's the latter. I think people in Ukraine don't know who she is. Maybe she's a famous person in Russia. She's considered famous person in Russia for doing this stunt. But in Ukraine, pretty much nobody knows about this woman. Her face is not recognizable. And exactly as we said, it will happen. Exactly as Sharyi said, it will happen on that video, and I will leave card right here so you can watch it. Sorry for music in advance. I think what happened most probably is she crossed the border from this is the western border of Ukraine, from Poland, and I think she introduced herself as a German journalist who just happened to speak Russian. And this was the entire plan all along, I think. First, she was made a dissident by this media stunt. Then she kind of escaped, but not really. And she got a job at the Welt, German media. I think it's fairly big German media, one of the biggest. And she even got some journalist award. This award is unknown to me, but already you can introduce yourself as an award-winning German journalist who just happened to speak Russian. And given that her face is not recognizable, this patch of her face above the poster is really the only thing that is memorable about her, and the only thing that Ukrainians remember anyway. I think she got in Ukraine introducing herself like that, and she went to Odessa. She also went to Kiev to report. No real actual report was produced at this point, but people who follow her on Instagram got tipped off immediately. And the narrative changed. The narrative changed a little bit. So before she was talking about how Putin is responsible and he's the sole person responsible for this conflict. This was done to appease to Russian audiences who don't want to be shamed, who don't want to be blamed for the war. And now, when her transformation into a award-winning German journalist is complete, she's now playing to appease Ukrainians. She's talking about how all Russians are to blame, and herself included. But what she does immediately is she says, I'm from Odessa originally. I was born in Odessa, and my original last name is Tkachuk, so I am Ukrainian. So this is 8 weeks. So then Ukrainian far media, I think they are something like a prank, like an investigative journalism outlet. They basically went and did what Ukrainians always do. They did a prank call. They introduced themselves as pro-Russian journalist in Ukraine and took this interview. And yeah, all talking points immediately. They say they are.
Вы ехали с посылом для того, чтобы рассказать о пропаганде в России. Вот у меня такой вопрос. Вы работали на Первом канале. В какой момент вы поняли, что это не СМИ, не независимая СМИ, а именно инструмент пропаганды? Как вы проживали это сознание?
Явное такое ощущение, что это пропагандистский инструмент уже возникал там лет 10 назад.
So this thing doesn't have English subtitles, which I think is a big pity, because this thing really needs English subtitles, because there are still a lot of what I say, fans like, or apologist for her. This is this narrative that she will try to push further, and this is like exact narrative I expected her to push. That I'm not guilty. I was not aware that Первый Канал is a propaganda outlet and not a an independent media.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, it's like, it was a feeling, she says, that it was a propagandist channel 10 years ago. Oh my gosh, that was like a propagandist channel for the last 60 years.
Like, if only I knew that I work for Первый Канал and not for something else.
Травмированные всей этой ситуацией, всей этой войной.
Like the next quote I'm trying to find. The caller, he is asking, do you think it will be a good thing to allow Russian propagandists in Kiev just to document regular, like, peaceful life in Kiev, in Lviv? And she says, yeah, it would be a good PR. Too bad your government doesn't understand it.
But let me just comment quickly on this. If this happens, then Russia just wins in the information war. If Russian propaganda starts speaking of Ukraine, they capture the Ukrainian information field with their narratives. That's why I tried to send my articles to New York Times only to learn that they are eager to accept pictures. They want to get like raw data, but they don't want anybody to produce their narrative. They want to produce their narratives there in New York. This is the same here. If you have the power to produce your narratives, you will never give it up, even if it's the same narrative, because suddenly you want to twist it. You can give someone who worked for the Russian government for 10 years, because suddenly she to be German journalist or Ukrainian journalist. No, they will always be the part of that machine, and you never know whether they change their shoes or they just work a clandestine operation.
Yeah, and so what this woman is trying to do now is she is trying to convince Ukrainians that she's not a KGB asset. So she's like, she shifted. She's kind of fulfilling her original purpose to infiltrate. She said she will be changing her last name to Tkachuk. Now, and she's saying that she's identifying as Ukrainian now. Like, how does this even work? And she will be going, like, if she's claiming to not be on Ukrainian soil anymore. I highly doubt it. I think she's hiding somewhere here. And she will be going around and telling everybody, like, hello, I am Marina Tkachuk, a Ukrainian journalist who works for German outlet Die Welt. And I also won an award. Would you like to tell me something about how you live here? And all this is to build trust. And all this is happening in plain sight. She's doing this transform moment live for us. For ages, KGB were doing this covertly. Like, it was really hard to distinguish between a KGB asset and just a regular Western person. Even in America, like professors in universities who have proper American names, who teach proper, like, capitalist stuff, who are capitalists by beliefs, and they turn out to be Russian assets, like KGB assets. But this thing is avert. I don't think, maybe they are panicking, so they are doing it as fast as they could. But yeah,
I think it's also the quality of the KGB, that in the Soviet Union it had much more resources in terms of intelligence, because it's called intelligence because you need to use your intellect to infiltrate, and they did a lot to whitewash this. Now, if you turn on a Western video about McCarthyism that actually put in jail like 200 people. It will be seen as a witch hunt. Although, actually, it got rid of a lot of KGB agents who were placed at American universities. That's true. And of course, a Westerner or a foreigner just in general doesn't want to have something like this happening in their country when they need to, check whether this professor or this, speaker is a Russian agent.